This is the Party Poker Premier League. This season, the very best players have been invited to take part in this prestigious event. It's a huge honor to get a seat, and now they must prove their worth. 16 players have been divided into 2 groups of 8, and they're trying to accumulate points in a league format. After 4 matches, only those in the top 3 spots on the league will be guaranteed a place at the final table. Group B is currently in play in their second league game, so let's head over to the voice of poker, Jessie May, for a rundown on what's happened so far.
Last time, the man at the bottom of the league, Tony G, was late to the game.
Oh, he's not in a good mood.
Talal Shakerchi was declared table captain. The businessman was very active, yo-yoing up and down the leaderboard. Phil Helmuth made an appearance. And after being short-stacked early on, Tilly doubled up to stay in the game.
So Helmuth, you're good luck for me. Yay!
So we still have a full table of 8. Shakerchi and Shak are over the 400K mark, and at the other end of the spectrum, Mercier and Reinkemeier are in trouble, short-stacked with just over 100K each. But Tilly must be feeling great with that last double-up. She is over her starting stack for the first time this heat.
When we spoke to you before, you were saying that it was a real honor to be invited to come and play the Premier League. You must be feeling quite validated at this point.
Well, you know what? I feel really good because I feel like I've managed to hold my own and not let people push me around too much. And it's such a challenge because you're always adjusting to the way people play. Like you figure out, oh, this is their perception of me, and then you sort of adjust your behavior. So it's really challenging, and I think it's upping my game to be playing with such great players. I'm really, really enjoying it. And of course, it's great to play with Phil. You know, I'm really competitive, and he used to always get invited to the Premier League, and I kept thinking, one day I'm going to get invited. So it's a dream come true to be here.
These are the league standings at the moment after 1 match, and Tilly's first Premier League is going well so far. She is in the top 3, along with Dan Shak and Tobias Reinkemeier. The pressure is on those in the elimination zone today. Igor, Kurganov, Talal Shakerchi, and Tony G need big points to remain in contention for a place on the final table.
2 guys over 400, but you know, we are 88 hands in. Usually, there's at least one player out, and someone's cracked the 500,000 or 600,000 mark. So, in a sense, these are bunched, and if Mercier can double up through one of the chip leaders, it's going to be back to square one nearly.
He's definitely going to be all in the next 5 hands, I think it is, before the blinds get to him. He only has 8 bigs, so he won't be folding through there. He'll be finding a hand very soon.
And, you know, if he wants to pick a big blind, do you pick Tobias because he's short as well? Should this be enough?
Yeah, this is, oh, wow. That would have been good enough for me, I think.
He did that quick. He's obviously got an opinion about what this, how you have to adjust, if you know what I mean. The adjustments are the key, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he knows that he doesn't want to be the first one out, but still, there's not a massive difference between the first one out and being 7th. You get
2 points. I mean, 2 points are quite. You know, it really bunches in the middle. There's always 2 guys at the top, 2 guys at the bottom, and then everyone else is in the middle, like separated by 2 or 3 points going in that last heat. I mean, Jason might have realized that that Reinkemeier actually is under a bit of pressure himself.
He's really, wow.
Yeah, he wanted, you know, normally, right? Normally you just shove there automatically. It's like a no-brainer to shove all in.
He's got very lucky.
I wonder if he was playing a little stop and go there. I know it's outdated by about 9 years, but
it actually is a decent spot for it. I think it's fine. I mean,
there are places for it.
Yeah. He's really gonna call. Is that right? No. Wow.
This is just like.
This is a little strange because he's now given Talal a free card at a queen.
But it's like taking things to the extreme. Like, I am not going to put my chips in if I don't have to.
And wow, yeah, there you go. Talal, if he had check raised all in on the flop, Talal has to fold.
No, he's basically just shot himself.
And now Talal's going to put him all in. Check. Just let him have the free card. This is bagel time for for Reinkemeier. Bagel time for the weatherman.
Perhaps he doesn't know which way the wind blows. Right now, it's going to blow him out the door.
We get like a little, but we have to sunscreen, sunshade for the boat. Maybe get 4.
I mean, it might be too simplistic to say, but since Phil Hellmuth appeared on the video screen, Reinkemeier has butchered like 3 hands.
Yeah.
I mean, did we finally find a way to rattle the weatherman, the machine?
He might just end up checking.
Well, he checked back the turn because when Tobias called on the flop, he's thinking off of 8 big blinds, what could you possibly call me with that's not a monster, right?
And he has checked it back, and he is good.
Not all fish, all areas, but it's a real thing.
Yeah,
He's sick.
He's not going to be happy when he watches that hand back.
Oh, man. You know, obviously, big winner last heat and looking invincible. And the same after the first 2 levels here, but late into the night. And Reinkemeier is now looking nearly human.
In this World Series, you can gamble online, and one of the ones in Nevada.
All in.
Is that right, Jason? There's an online gambling site open in Nevada.
You know, I'm not sure why the Ace-Jack is stronger than anything else.
I mean, I think he's just come to the end of his tether now.
56.
And Tony folds King Queen.
Not yet, he hasn't. Oh, he has.
And Igor's not folding Ace Queen.
No. He hasn't gone all in, which is, well, I know it's just a point of fact.
Jason's pretty happy with this situation.
He's happy when the cards get turned over.
Queen, king,
And really, either way the chips go is going to suit Jason Mercier. Except a split pot, obviously.
A jack, just a jack.
It all looks good, he just needs to last remaining jack.
You really want the 2 points, Tobias? I mean, come on, you have 16. Let it go, buddy.
I'm still thinking about 16 in this one.
Oh! Oh
Sick.
my gosh.
As Elkie would say, so sick.
Like, we don't want anyone to bust.
It was even crazier. I think Jason folded a jack in the big blind.
Yeah, he did. I saw, and I think somebody else folded a jack as well. There was only 1 jack remaining.
And you know that did 2 things. I mean, first of all, it crushed Mercier, but think of what it did to Kurganov. I mean, you know, that could end up being the jack that knocks him out of the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, when you're running good though, you're running good, and Reinkemaier's on life run good right now.
We all have to be in.
Fun would be like 5 short stacks of like 50 and 1 big stack. 1 captain.
It's always an interesting question. How many points do you need to shoot for to stay in the top 3, to stay in the top 5? Because the answer is always it depends. You know, it depends if a guy wins twice, and it depends if a guy bagels twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's small. I'm going to check the time right now.
Like a win in a second is good enough for a final, right? Probably.
For sure. I mean, we've had situations where I think it took maybe 26 points to get there, and then I think we've had situations where it took less, because Phil Laak, for instance, won 3 out of 4 heats one season, and that just ate up all the points.
All lasting forever. They made a fast.
Deuce 3.
It's the battle of the people that like to lead out. Talal's going to give this one up.
Bet 30,000.
Trying to think where the...
With short stacks out there, you're always under pressure in a pot against the big stack. I mean, it's one constant super satellite that never ends.
He's got that look in his eye.
He certainly does, and this will work.
Yeah, it definitely will.
This is really good.
I love how much heart he's got.
Yeah, but we're 100?
I mean,
yeah, of course.
you know, it's interesting. I'm not saying it gets her off a queen, but it might get her off a queen.
When she has this hand that she has now, she can't do anything about it. She can click it back again and make it another 38,000 on top of 68, but I can't see her doing that. Oh, she is going to do that.
Absolutely is. But what is she? Oh, she's representing a set then. I guess she's. I don't know. She's just representing sticking chips in the pot. Really.
They're both just battling with each other. Neither of them are representing anything really. Because if she had a set, there's no way she would click it back
Right,
again.
of course not. Of course not.
She can't have any hand. But neither can he. What? This is ludicrous.
She's representing the 4-5, maybe. Come on, she's ace 4. She's representing. Well,
Even that, I guess. She's just got the 8-6 of diamonds. She's loving it.
Talal's got the jack. He's got the jack.
I love his play as well. I think it should work always. And then she just stuck it right in his eye.
Okay, before the next
Jennifer
hand,
Tilly's gone chip
I wanna know
leader.
how many hands are left.
That was a pot.
And what time we finish?
Where did that even come from?
Plenty more to come tonight. The players are taking a short break, and we're going to catch up with them when we return in just a moment.
It's amazing that there's still 8 players at this table after all the chaos we've seen.
It can't last that much longer.
the first, probably.
With Igor and Jason, they have 6 big blinds each.
You can just imagine when Talal finds out what Jennifer did, he's going to be saying, what was she thinking? Doesn't she understand how many chips I had? I mean, that she can't go out on the bagel here?
Race to 28,000.
I think Mercier is actually, even though things are going bad, I think he's sitting there and saying to himself that he's seeing lots of people make lots of mistakes. And as a poker player, that's always got to be good for you.
Yeah, I do agree with that. The game's very advanced now, and when I see people making mistakes still, it's really nice to see.
Yeah, and when you're in a $125,000 buy-in tournament and people are making what you consider, you know, massive blunders, you might put up with Helmut on the iPad.
True, yeah. But also, like, just because the buy-in's high doesn't mean the play's better than a £500 tournament.
Magic can keep you up late.
And she's
for sure the way it is.
She's just relentless.
Bet 35,000.
She's tough with chips, that's for sure.
Absolutely relentless. And Tony's in a tough spot here.
She's in a groove, that's for sure. You can see how dangerous it is when she starts hitting pieces of flops,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I mean, she's...
When she misses, it's ugly, but pieces are great.
The one hand she really made a mistake with was the one against Jason. She had a second pair or something and she called down. Oh, the jacks against the king jack.
Right.
In that 3-bet pot really early on. But when she plays aggressively, it's hard to combat.
I mean, standard play here would...
I mean, Tony G...
What?
Yeah. See?
Well, I mean...
Because he doesn't know what to do. He knows that she's going to lead the turn again for like 40,000 or 50,000.
It wasn't that big a bet, right? I mean...
No. Like... But how's it worked out for Igor when he keeps calling over on the flop with 2 overs?
Right.
It's not working out well for him.
So she really just froze him.
Yeah, she's got them.
She's got them. She's got the players. She's got the chips. And if she finishes, I think top 3 here, she's going to have the points as well.
And also, Tony knows that, like, when she does have a piece of that flop there, which is often, she's not folding to a raise. she's just calling, yeah. And it is hard to combat.
Is she sipping wine through a straw out of a coffee cup? Is that where this game has got to?
I think that is possible.
Yeah.
I knew I owed some.
Fold. Always trying to get a little discount here and there, right?
Raise, all in.
Nope. But I am always distracted and trying to zone in. It's like the radio dial. Sometimes it drifts away.
Cool.
Oh, this is like...
Mercier's going to be so sick. It's like, in addition to everything else, I can't even get a reasonable race here. I just have to be dominated with my 2 random cards. You know?
Jennifer has pocket 4s.
Fold, fold.
And she's just going to fold.
She's got
Fold.
a lot of reasons to fold. And is the bagel going to be dished out here? Will Mercier get toasted?
And Igor folded the Jack 10 suited. He dodged a bullet.
I mean, boy, you know, there was a point during heat number 1 where you would have bet your bottom dollar that Mercier was never going to be threatened in this Premier League.
That would have been good normally, but there were just these. There's a 50-50 miss.
The situation right now, the bagel plus a 4th place, and Mercier on 6.
I mean,
likely to be bottom 3.
He really didn't do that much wrong, and
You're lucky you don't have to get up tomorrow. It was torturous. But
I do feel bad for him. I'd be going straight to bed.
Yeah, after you played 14 hours of open-faced Chinese, just to kind of, you know, wind down. 0 points for Mercier.
16,000.
Jason, in your entire life. Oh, he's gone. God, that was unintentional. Sorry, Jason.
See, that's the sort of stuff that just freaks me out a little bit.
He's fun. I haven't spent enough time with him either. That's the thing. I barely know Jason.
That's the end of Igor.
I was going to ask him something. I can't remember.
And Talal's called.
about tepid water. And
Oh, yeah. Has he ever seen hot, cold, and then in the middle, tepid? I saw it once.
We've got a race, and Kurganov quite happy that he's actually 50-50, although...
Yeah, he's extremely happy with that.
The odds don't say that. I guess we've seen some...
Yeah, we've seen 3 queens, I think.
Yeah. Don't tell Igor. He's too excited.
It's a good flop for Talal.
3 points for Kurganov, plus how many?
And it's good night.
It's no fun. And Igor Kurganov, 5 points through 2 heats. And look at him. He is a man with class.
He did well to fade the bagel.
5. I'm like 1 behind Jason. That cannot be too bad, right?
His strategy will be very clear.
Yeah, so he's now got the opportunity to play really aggressively, right? And not worry about bagels and stuff like that. If he gets it, then he's done. But
right, and
he needs a top 2 in the next heat, really.
I mean, there are a couple good things that could happen for both Igor and Jason as far as the rest of the heat goes. What they want is they want Talal and Tony to be the next 2 out.
Oh, I thought it was bagel 1.
Bagel 2 for...
And that'll keep those 2 well in touch.
No, 2-3.
2-3. Wait. What did... So wait. So he got 1 point there? Or 2 points when you busted out?
47, this... These race sizes are just getting out of hand now.
Nearly a 3x?
Yeah, this is too much for me.
See, there's 1, 2.
It's almost like Shak has been lured in by the fact that Phil has over-raised this.
So he got 2, so the next person gets 3.
We can't.
Wow, check it out.
150,000.
Ace 5 offsuit.
The bottom 3 at close. I'm on 5.
Phil folded.
He said 1, he said 0, 2, 0,
Oh my.
Not only did he fold. Did you see how he folded? He folded in a beautiful way.
But we're really curious about whoever's not here now, what their current point standing adds up to. That's the interesting number for me.
I think Dan Shak just found a wrinkle in Phil Laak's game. He caught something, didn't he? Oh, he was wrong, obviously.
There was nobody in there, right? It was just you and me. It was just 2 people. No, but I'm saying in the booth, I was saying small blind, big blind confrontation, who I would rather raise than call with the 10-jack. I was saying things like that, and I beat the 10-jack. I had a 10-jack to lead. But that's kind of the fun of poker, is playing hands where you don't know if you're supposed to be in there.
41,000 total. Fold.
I think he's realised that he's just folded for like 3 orbits now.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly having a struggle with his consciousness right now, you know. I mean, and that seems to be overriding. Then he's...
Good luck getting Talal to fold.
Queen, 8. Check. Bet 50,000.
Okay, we've got action here.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd see Talal fold in this flop. See whether Tilly shuts down or not.
3.
You won't see him folding this turn now either.
Boy, I mean, the blinds are so big right now that both these players are realizing that a 3-barrel pot is playing for stacks. How strong does a bet from her look right now? Just up to Talal.
Talal just isn't going to fold to it though. He's got like the top of his range from peeling the big blinds.
10.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he checks. He's probably not going to.
He might not be 100% sure where he is.
I think she might try and bluff. She knows she can't win the pot any other way, and she doesn't really want to show down King 6 offsuit that she raised with pre.
Question is, I mean, Talal is calling everything, but sizing-wise, how should she approach
In his
this?
eyes, he has the absolute. He's just going to go cool. 100,000.
100,000.
Cool.
Cool.
See?
Quite quick.
It's so easy.
And that is the first crack to Jennifer Tilly's armor.
And he's played his hand perfectly.
Wow.
He got her.
She's not happy. There's not that many ways she could have won that hand.
Oh, dear.
It's a tough bluff.
Just a calling station, Jennifer.
I'll keep that in mind.
Calling station with a big smile and nearly 800K.
The brief about we're 40 minutes away from here.
By the way, I'm taking the subway tomorrow. Just leaving the house.
Take a while. You know, she's still done a lot of good work, and actually her stack is okay. Is more than okay.
6-minute walk.
I mean, she was 8 of 8 for a long time, so.
16,000 to play. Fold. Fold.
And for Tony G, it's time to head for the hills. He'll be back tomorrow. Talal Shakerchi wants to finish things off on a good note.
Hey, Shak of spades, good opportunity as ever.
Fold.
Oh, and Tobias has found a better hand somehow.
I mean, just how perfect is this for Tobias? He's like, and he loves the spot too, because
this is why you wait. I mean.
And not only that, but he has to get called quite light here just because of the last hand of the night factor. I mean, obviously Talal's going to call him anyway, but you know what I mean? Like,
it's not even a consideration for him, but yeah, I agree. He might.
Fold. Cool. Cool.
You know, Talal might have called him there, like, very light.
Yeah, that sucks. He's got like 9 big blinds as well. 8 big blinds.
Well, you know, if you could have asked him his dream, he's like, you know, let me go 70-25 to not have to come back tomorrow or double up to 20 bigs.
Yeah, he's going to struggle to win this one. Queen of spades gives him a sweat. Queen or a 10 of spades. There you go.
Bingo! You know this well. Your heart has been broken more times than you can count, is what I can say
Classic
for sure.
TV. Don't watch at home. Spade. Oh, it was black as well.
How about the offsuit 10? That would have been cute. But for Reinkemeier, wow, he's going to be coming back with an average stack. And actually, Tony G has suddenly gone short stacked.
Oh my God, yeah. This is like dream situation for Tobias. He couldn't have asked for any more.
So this is Group B's league table as it stands. Those players left in the heat are guaranteed 3 points now. Jason Mercier and Igor are going to be in the bottom 2 unless Tony G or Talal Shakerchi go out next. Players are now on a break. When they return, action continues as they battle it out here in London. Welcome back to London for this season's Premier League. It has been an exhausting heat for our Group B players, but now well rested, their second league match resumes here at Asper's Casino as they continue to battle it out for the maximum 16 league points.
4. call for the math because you overrated.
While we've got a second, I'll take the time to welcome here into the booth the tournament director of this tournament and the poker manager for Asper's Casino, John Scanlon. Hi, John.
Hi, Jesse.
You know, you've been seeing everything, been on the floor, talking to the players, watching the tournament. How do you think it's going so far?
Yeah, it's going absolutely brilliant. The real winners here are the spectators that are getting to come and see these guys perform. I think the big difference this year is a bit of a mixed bag.
How are you today?
You get the feeling looking around that out of these 6 players, only one of them had a good night's sleep, and that's Jennifer Tilly. And she might take advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
In some third world countries, they appreciate a little kindness. Most places, they appreciate money.
Everybody, I mean, just from a tournament point of view, everybody is basically short-stacked here. You know, Dan, Shak, and Talal Shakerchi have got about 40 big blinds each, but between Laak and Tilly and Tony G and Tobias, they only basically have one hand, and I just wonder if Phil Laak is considering moving in here. There's that strategy, tournament strategy that comes out into play, and Phil Laak knows how bad it is to bust right now if he can hang on. So, I mean, I guess he could even fold if he wants to, but I think he's more likely to just peel off a flop or something.
I suppose, like you're saying, it's a little bit strategy, laddering the points.
All right, he's gone for the re-raise, and actually, I guess he's put enough in where he cannot fold if if Tobias decides to push, which he does. So we're on a straight race here.
I guess it's a race for undead. I think I overplayed this. I hope
Good luck. Good luck, Phil.
Killing me? Oh, it's not beautiful. Okay,
Oh,
so
it's
I'm
a
ahead a
race.
little, but
You're doing great.
But for the points thing, maybe I'm supposed to play tight.
Phil, 8 to the Charles Bronson of poker.
A date with an 8.
Now this is huge, John, because Tobias Reinkemeier is on 16 points. If he gets knocked out now, the field is wide open, and it is not going to be. If Laak is gone, Laak's in trouble.
No, you have more chips than he does.
The next player out is going to only get 3 points.
Eight of spades.
Phil Laak does have a few left, but that was a serious situation for him. And Tobias, he's like been an animal, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, honey, you played that magnificently. Tobias is just a luck box.
In the scheme of things, it's probably good for most of these guys that Tobias kind of runs away with it a little bit.
Scrambled eggs.
Shaq's got the right idea. You just flat, look at the flop.
Onions.
Well, if I could trust everyone else, I would. I don't trust Toby. I don't trust Talal.
So not.
I know what
not
the
on
right
this side,
move
because
is.
Last time it was on the side.
I guess it would have only cost me 12,000. I see.
Just scrambled eggs with a stuffed scrambled
16.
inside.
I mean, the right move is we all.
Perfect.
Is this the best hand of the 3 that you likely to see?
Generally, like.
That's the question.
What do you mean?
No, I don't.
4,000 chips.
There's other stuff at hand. At hand.
In this spot, all right.
So.
Remember, if I go in now, I get more than if I go into my next hand.
How many chips does Phil Laak have? He's only got 4,000 left?
He wants to survive. Phil wants to live.
Oh my gosh.
Who can blame him? He's a little baby gasping for a breath of air.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. I thought Phil Laak had a couple more.
Yeah, I thought he had about 28, 30,000.
If you fold, you get like maybe 1.5 more minutes camera time. We know you love camera time.
Yep, I do.
That's quite interesting. I mean, he's trying to think, if he folds, what are the chances that someone else will get knocked out, you know? And he could pick up an extra point.
Sleep, so it takes longer to process things.
This could be a blunder. But if it is, I can't imagine it's a blunder by a lot.
Not by large margin.
I know I'm putting it in wrong, but it might not be wrong.
Yay, Phil! Everyone at home
I made a big push,
made a decision.
but I have no fold equity. That's the problem.
No, you do not. Nobody's gonna fold now.
Now they're gonna
torture. Team up on you.
This
Maybe
will
Talal
not.
will give you protection.
No! And Laak's made a huge blunder. These guys are likely to get it all in if he folds.
I'm gonna just stand here and see if I
Actually,
can get lucky.
Talal has to go all in here.
Wow, what if I just check?
Not really, it's just a race. But
Wow, I could have been
Another race.
Wow, this is terrible. If I had folded.
That's not terrible for you.
It's not terrible, baby.
Phil Laak feels pretty sick now.
No, I'm going to take the underdog. I'm going to say Laak's going to come out of this on top.
You have a straight draw.
2 cards under. Well, you have to turn them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight draw, baby.
No, but you see, the thing is, Jennifer, if I fold, there's a chance I can just go up in points. Because there's going to be a confrontation. That's the thinking.
If Shakerchi holds, Phil Laak will get 6th and Tony will get 5th because it's based on starting stacks. But there's a couple of situations that could see
so funny. Wow, what if
Phil Laak survive or obviously Tony G double up.
7-5, up, 10. Look, Greggy, that's good reading.
Now, Tony G is almost certain to be out, and if Laak can hit a 9, he's going to bump up a spot.
Gutter ball.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
No, didn't Tony...
Now Tony's got a sweat as well.
Could be funny, a 9 could be funny.
I don't know why I even come today.
King and 9 are the operative cards.
Oh, and a 2.
Instead, we're going to see the backs of 2 players.
Doubled up. I would have...
Welcome to the quiet table. After this, I guarantee it's going to be
Phil Laak
very
takes
quiet.
3 points, and Tony will take 4 because Tony had more chips to start the hand. Well, that didn't take long to go from 6 to 4, John.
Yeah, blink of an eye. And in both situations, the hands played themselves. There's not a lot the players could do.
It's kind of a bittersweet thing because I have enough points now to kind of, I can scrape into something, fight for the, or what, you know.
It's gonna be more work, definitely, and the cards are gonna have to fall your way. But it's not over, and it's gonna depend a little bit as well on how things finish out here, who finishes at the top, and how the points settle out. So let's keep an eye on it. Thank you.
Thanks. Yep.
I think it's probably a good time to bring up that if you're in the vicinity and you're hungry, in about 5 minutes, Tony G's and Phil Laak's food's going to arrive. And there's nobody to eat it. So come on down for a platter of ham and eggs. Or a full English, perhaps.
Is this better light on me, right? Yes, it is.
This game is actually going to get quite interesting now. Four-handed. Suddenly, there's a bit of play in these stacks. And this is about the time when Tobias becomes a monster. So let's see how the weatherman goes.
You didn't even see it happening.
Have you met Talal before or watched him play before this?
Yeah, I met him before. We had a big tournament over in Aspinall's, 100,000 buy-in. He came and played that. Always a gentleman.
He is a gentleman, and I think that in this particular heat, he has really gotten to show some of the style that he has with his poker game, which is quite fun as well. And this is what we saw all night, or all day yesterday in Group B. Talal making the 3-bet. And listen, Dan Shak is just onto this. He knows that the 3-bet from Talal is not very strong at all.
Yep. Insta fold. Yep.
And the cold 4 from Dan Shak with the 2 9s takes the money. And this is the bittersweet moment when we're thrilled to have Phil Laak here with us, and yet we're gutted that it means he's been knocked out of that heat.
It's so crazy. I could have got those extra points.
Well, let's have a look at the league table.
Oh, I have 7. I thought I had 6 total. Huh.
7 points. And the important thing, of course, is that you're ahead of Mercier, Kurganov, and Tony G, all of whom are out of this heat. So the worst you can be is in the still in the head-up zone going into the next heat. Not bad.
The worst I can do is going into head-up zone. You're saying that I can't? I always get a shot at the head-up, and I have a shot.
No, going into 3. You're going to be in
correct.
at least fifth position.
Right.
Which is not bad. And you've played this Premier League before. Your strategy in Heat 3, a lot of it is going to be dictated by the guys behind you.
Right. Of course, with their points and stuff. But I'm a big believer in the super grind. It's a flat structure. It's a flat this. It's a flat. That means you just play handcuff poker tight. Fold the 8-6. Wait one more hand. Get the miraculous couple more.
Queen of clubs, 10 of diamonds. 6 checks.
So the action here has been Talal raising from the button, Tobias flatting or defending from the blind, and check on the flop.
2 diamonds. Check.
Now, why is Tobias check the turn?
To collect a bet here, I believe. If he bets, he's gonna fold out a lot of hands that might do this.
And he believes he's ahead almost all the time.
Yeah, and of course, yeah.
See 2 calls.
His reputation, I think, among most casual poker fans is they don't know much about him. But when you talk to the guys that play the super high rollers, the best in the world, they're just terrified of this guy.
Yeah.
And his little crew. You know, there's a couple of German players who are just super. Philip Grissom, Fabian Quos.
See 2 checks.
So Shakerchi's getting called here no matter what, isn't he?
Yeah, this is just like
7 bets, 86,000.
Talal, always betting.
What I love, and we talked about, he's going to call. You're right. Yeah.
King high.
You just knew it. You just knew it right away.
it's not even hard to see.
And Talal's going to feel like he got nit rolled here, isn't he? Look at him. He's like, what are you thinking about, man? Do you know right now how you want this heat to finish out?
Yeah, I mean, Jennifer won. I don't even care if that kills me for points or not. It's so weird. Actually, no, I want to do the thing that optimizes the
40,000.
What would optimize your chances in this tournament?
Surely Tobias to run away with it.
That probably helps.
I think
of course,
so.
because then he's just like, he steals that
I actually
spot from other people.
I think
that can
you
get
do
it.
best if Talal goes out next.
Is that what
Phil,
it is?
Because then he would stay
beneath me.
No, he would have 8
go.
points, but he would just be 1 above you.
Right.
Which would be quite
big,
close.
yeah. So the ace-2 raise is reasonable.
Yeah,
Call reasonable.
Is that reasonable at this stage to flat from the small blind with
Queen 9? I would have folded it. In the olden days I would have called 3 days ago. Now my new tight Phil likes to fold these things.
With the right flop here, we can see fireworks, I suppose.
I think so, and I think Shak is maybe not that delighted. I mean, what if he flops a piece that he can't get away from here, Phil?
Yeah.
This feels dangerous. See 2 checks.
It's funny, they all have something in a weird kind of, I mean...
Distantly connected.
2 guys have 2 overcards and runner flush draws, and 1 guy has a straight draw. And
I'm not sure why Talal checked that back, unless he really thinks that Dan Shak would never call pre-flop and then fold on the flop like that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That Dan has to have something like a strong pocket pair or something like this.
I don't know. Talal might want to check once more because he could get bluffed off by somebody repping a 4. It's less likely he has a 4. And
I think Tobias is in a great spot now to go bet.
Yep, he actually has a hand and has equity and has fold equity that's higher than the other guys. It's also everyone checked on the flop, and now he gets 1 more check from Shak. It looks like the chance of it getting through is a lot higher. There's just been people are showing that they might be ready to let it go.
I mean, it would be super creative. Obviously, when you can see the cards, you can kind of imagine what could happen. But Shakerchi could reasonably have a 4 in his holdings here and have checked it back for the free card.
Yeah,
but it's over.
I don't know.
All right.
It's more likely he doesn't have a 4. He could, but I mean that bet was just to basically let me steal a bet.
This is just how it goes in formats like this. If you remember last night, Tobias Reinkemeier was something like 2 outs away from going out in 7th. He hit a jack on the river against Igor Kurganov. He was still short stacked. And look at him now. 860,000, 16 points. Happy days. Dan looks like he got wakened quite rudely by his alarm, I have to say. He is definitely not in prime form yet. He might need a few cups of coffee under his belt. I'll bet Reinkemeier hasn't been to sleep yet. He's just one of those demons, isn't he? He probably went back. He's been grinding all night. Takes a shower, comes in and just plays.
I don't know. Maybe, yeah. This is a real nice hand to just look at a flop with a 6-4 for free.
What is the normal, this area we're in here, John? What is this used for normally? Because it's a great little space. You could feel like there could be a TV table here 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Yes, like we're looking at expansion again, so if things keep getting busier and busier, then it's a good possibility.
Turn is king of hearts.
Wow. He is trying to figure out how to get money out of this hand, you know? Should he bet or let somebody hang themselves? If he checks, somebody might try and go after the pot, you know? He's going to take that. They might go after the pot juice.
You might be sleepy, but you're definitely in his mindset. And that's a dangerous card.
Here's this is really just turning the hand into a bluff, but this is because he's not going to call with, like, you know, jack high or whatever.
Right.
But this is exactly why Tobias calls. He's just going to get. Look at this. This is just a super thin call.
Yeah, he's getting paid.
Opponent. And now he's getting double paid. 60K pickup. You know? Now can he raise?
He's this guy. I'm sorry.
I don't know. In his mind, he's thinking, well, if I raise, they're probably just going to both fold. But what if some freaky? Could they? No. Anyone at a pocket fours, wouldn't they raise? This is what he's thinking. If a weird, plunky 2-outer hit, and somebody has a set of fours, would they flat or raise?
What would your play be here?
Being that he's chip leader, Phil, there's a.
I mean, somebody will call with a straight and be sick. They'll like do the. But he's just going to extract value in case somebody has ace 10 and they think he's up to it. You know.
It's one of those weird spots where, I mean, could you start to sort of convince yourself that Tobias is making a very advanced bluff?
Yeah, I mean, if you had a lot of chips, you could actually get hurt here or win the pot by going for a bluff here. But I wouldn't try it because Tobias kind of knows where everyone's at. You're not going to like get anything through here. This is just too late, you know. And it's reasonable that he just has plinked a monster good hand. And with somebody to act after you, it's even just worse. It's even harder. Jennifer's spot is tougher because of Talal having to act. Talal might have just called with ace jack petrified, you know? It's like.
I mean, she's gotten a bit unlucky with the way this has run out, but still, I think, Phil, she's regretting making this bet on the river.
Yeah, you know, it was. But she'll make thin calls here and there. I don't think she can find it here because Talal has to act after her.
Oh no, don't do it.
I don't do it.
You got to shout louder, Phil. There's only about 6 doors between. You know, it's only about 100 meters of concrete. I think we could get it. I think if we shout loud enough, we could get her to pass. Fold!
I wonder how many decibels you'd have to go here for it to be heard out there. I wonder if our eardrums could take it.
There we go.
C7 calls.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
He's just, needs to be shown.
Yeah.
Your range was polarized. To use the vernacular of the young kids. I thought either have a monster and you're waiting for everyone to catch up, which I did on the river.
And obviously Talal did too.
I thought I was value betting. Or you have nothing.
You know, it's kind of funny because it doesn't seem like a great bet from Jennifer on the river, but look what happened. Talal ended up losing a whole bunch of chips there that Jennifer didn't, and it's huge. I mean, Tilly isn't. She's Tobias is running away with it, but Jennifer's not far out from second place.
Yeah, but she might have actually done Phil a massive favour there.
Right.
This is you know, it's just so important for Jennifer to hang on. Now she's got 300. She doesn't want to bust out. She's almost. If she can come in third, I guess, what does her point total be that would be with it?
Well, it depends who comes in fourth. I mean, she wants, you know, right now you're looking at, I think, the 4 players who are going to be most likely competing for the 3 spots.
Jack of diamonds, 3 of hearts.
This won't bode well for her because she caught a piece of it, and you know, and Shak got a bigger piece.
He's never letting it go.
She might go for a check raise. I mean,
yeah, I think
it doesn't mean Dan has a jack here.
I would say she's 100% going to go for a check raise all the way.
And then, you know, he's going to fold the ace-10 and whatever. Some C-bets, and she might be winning if he has pair of, like, 6s. But he's never going anywhere. This is...
It's all in her fold now.
I think so. Maybe it's not. Maybe 80-85%. She's
just 270. Can she just... What? I mean, this should be a weird...
Well, the first thing she's thinking now is she's wishing she hadn't called.
Correct. And that's why Tide is right. She's in a tough spot. She might have to get... But she has a decent amount of points if she goes out here. Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be all right.
I would do this, by the way, if you're calling with the 5-7.
Oh, I had a feeling so strong you had a jack.
And he snapped.
Wow.
Well, the game ain't over.
Yeah.
Not till the turn and river are spit.
I guess I'm drawing dead.
Okay, so that's terrible, baby.
Oh, dear. Good luck, everybody.
Now, she's feeling bad now, but when the league table gets finalized, Jennifer Tilley's going to find herself with, I believe, 14 points.
Which is very solid. That means she only has to get 4 or 5 points, and she's going through. You know?
She will be in third place unless Talal wins the heat.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And third place is automatic promotion.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do better than that. She's looking down on over half the field.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed with that last hand because I just feel like I was feeling like I'm going to use my psychic ability. And when Dan looked at his cards, I saw a jack and I saw a 7. And then it came to me and I saw a 5 and I saw a 7. So I thought, oh, I must have seen his jack and my 7. And then the flop came jack 7. I thought, okay, that's what I saw. And then I thought, you know, what's the odds that he has a jack? But I was seeing jack so strong. And in my mind, I heard people in the booth going, no, don't do it. But then I was using logic. Like, logically, I had the best hand. And so logic overruled. And I'm going to go with my gut from here on out. But I feel like I'm in good shape. I only have to make maybe 4 more points to make to the final table. Now I'm rooting for Tobias to win because if he wins, then we don't have, the runners-up don't have to make as many points. So I think I'm in a really good place right now. I wish I hadn't gone out, but you know, that's the thing with poker players. You just want to keep playing until you're like a poker playing skeleton.
And you'll have another 2 shots anyways. So thanks for talking to us and good luck.
Thank you.
Group B will be playing this heat to a thrilling finish. Join us after the break.
Welcome back to Season 6 of Premier League Poker from Asper's Casino in Westfield, Stratford City. Group B's second league match is underway. The remaining players are battling for points in this league format. The winner is awarded 16 points, which will be a huge advantage in reaching the final. But with the fiercest contenders at our table, it won't be an easy challenge. Now let's head back to your commentators.
140 hands and Reinkemeier in a familiar position. And so are you, Phil Laak, next to me.
Yep.
It's, sorry,
one big blind.
We're all going to be a little slow today.
I think, well, let's watch his face when he realizes that 2 kings, that wakes you up. That's like a cup of espresso, isn't it? Hello.
Oh, man.
Hello, darling.
Shak attack.
See one that raises to 50,000.
No, this is so Tobias has a pretty nice hand here, 3-handed. I mean, this is really nice. He's shown a proclivity to call in spots like this, and
there's some interesting dynamics at work here, Phil, which is that Dan has nearly twice as many chips as Talal, and you know, unless
raise
he's
to fold. Do you think
I
Tobias can raise and fold? Is that what he's going to think?
I don't know. But Dan is supposed to fold a huge amount of his hands to a 3-bet here because of the Talal factor.
Right. Tobias knows this, but he also knows Shak plays tighter than you would think he plays. I don't mind this call. You know, you can take the fold.
Right, and the other thing about calling, I guess, is that he can hope to freeze Shak after the flop, can he? That Shak's not going to just fire off blindly.
Oh, wow. This is like insane.
Oh, my gosh.
Talal can really get hammerized here.
Oh. We could be looking at the last hand of this
his hand's
in a
too
weird
big,
way.
and it's kind of dry. I mean, you have to, somebody's going to really have a flush draw?
I think part of the dynamics are that if he does check, Reinkemeier will read it as giving up on the pot and or a lot of weakness. So Reinkemeier almost has to go for it, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
At this stage, I mean, I wonder if Reinkemeier might be willing to let go of this hand.
Well, if he's willing to let go of it, he'll probably call and then let go with one more bet.
Okay.
I don't think you can just, if you're just going to have to go home and not play cards if you're going to be folding the top.
Yeah, but it's Dan Shak, who we know right now, if you're Tobias, and a 3-way pot, you know this guy is not going to do chips in cold blood right now.
Right. So, I mean.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if you call, he'll shut down when he's, you know.
Right. Okay.
This is. That's a pretty easy fold once you get.
I mean, obviously, the worst card in the deck for Tobias, I guess, is an ace.
5.
Oh, a 5. Yeah, absolutely, 5.
Queen of spades.
This gives Reinkemeier a lot of opportunity to get out. Shak isn't worried about a straight or a flush as much as hoping that his opponent maybe has, you know, ace 3 king queen. I don't know. I would just think he's going to bet.
I think he's gone all in.
I mean, yeah, because you don't know that Tobias doesn't have one of his cards could be an ace of spades, and the other one's like a 9 of clubs, or I don't know. Shak's thinking is, I just don't want a spade to just bink me out of this set, you know. Now we have a new 1 million man. The $1 million man is Shak attack.
Could have had the flush there.
Yes, a dead bump.
I did not have a flush.
No, I could have had the flush there. That's what I said.
You could have, but when you see how strong my hand was, you'll realize if I'm going down with it, I'm going down with it, and I can't give you a 3 card because I obviously did not have a spade in my hand.
Dan Shak now over 1 million chips. This high-stakes cash player, who felt like he had a point to prove at the beginning of this event, is showing his class here in London.
I play in all the events with the toughest players, and I've had, 6, 7 players at my table before that are, top-notch players. When I'm playing, I'm not thinking about the money. I mean, obviously, if I have a good result, it's pleasant about the money, but while I'm playing, I'm really just trying to win the tournament. And I value a challenge, and I'm hoping that if I can win this, that, no one can, all the doubting of whether I can play or can't play will be gone after this. I don't like to play in tournaments that I don't think I deserve to be in, so I feel happy that I think I should be here. I'm not coming in here thinking of just having fun. I'm coming in here to win this.
Toby Lewis coming back from last night. How'd you sleep, Toby? Better than the rest of these players, I guess.
What's up, buddy? I broke down and I played 2 8s a little too fast.
2 8s, the blinds were pretty high now.
Yeah, but I mean, I like Shak's tight lead advice. Just call, look at the flop, see if there's much rainbow, get away.
I know you don't like we don't want to rehash everything, Phil, but Toby and I nearly fell out of our chair when you folded the 2 queens last night, late on. Did you know you had 2 queens?
Yeah, and I just thought, you know what? I don't need to play hands.
It was weirdness.
Was I crushing him?
No, he had ace-5 off.
He had ace-5 off. I was crushing him. Wow, I should have just... Why didn't I go with that one?
Well,
man, oh man, I just felt like he's just playing so tight.
7 of diamonds, 7 and a half.
I wasn't really... I mean, the fold I thought was, interesting, but the fact is you didn't even really look at him.
No, I was thinking, I was like, the only guy I'm going to fold to is Shak. When I raised this, he's got some kind of aura over me. This is a spot where everyone's...
Whoever wants it can take it.
But except Talal actually has kind of a hand, but it's not a hand he's proud of. He's kind of like, I probably have to bet to protect its value. I don't want to
I'm
get called.
surprised that he didn't bet. Normally he leads these spots from what we saw yesterday.
It's a brittle hand. It's not. It's like a... And now he's in bluff catching mode. You know, it's...
3 bets 24,000.
I apologize, Talal.
It's okay.
His main thing is like, what if my opponent is just
I think
any over 2 cards?
He's checked to shove here, hasn't he?
No, I don't think he had checked, and I think Dan might have checked out of turn.
Or folded out of turn.
Yeah,
even.
possibly.
Yeah.
And
screwed things up.
Yeah, and messed it up a little bit.
That makes a lot more sense.
He's too many chips back to shove here.
Yeah, too many to shove for sure.
7 calls.
400 back, so he's gone with the
It's
call.
kind of awkward for him. I think he just...
Yeah, it's super awkward. I mean, every card looks nasty, especially a heart. It's tough.
No good run out for him at all.
This is why you can just fold those cards that are small to start, because you can just be in... The decision tree is so tricky and icky. He can just rep that ace, but I mean, he really can't. It's the hardest card to rep because the most likely... Wait, Toby, am I right or wrong? It was a bunch of limps pre-flop, so he probably doesn't have an ace, so he could try and rep the ace.
No, yeah, he'll definitely be betting here, I'm sure of it. He'll bet like...
And it's also
50 or
thematic
60.
with his story, you know, he's camouflaged. His whole hand is camouflaged because his story is I have it. But what is it? This is... I would fold 6-3. I would just fold it. Wow, he just doesn't have any fold. Is this what he's doing? No. I mean, he doesn't fold, does he?
He's a sticky guy. He's a sticky guy.
This is like, okay, my rates on him are being all changed up. Now, God, this is like so nuts.
He's got to call the river now as well, though. That's the problem. Oh, wow.
Can he bluff? Can he bluff all in?
Come on, Talal, I want to see it. I want to see it. Come on, Tobias, push all in.
Up?
I want to see him make a naked call.
Oh, my God. This is like crazy. You can rep the heart. I mean, wouldn't the other guy have value bet his heart if he had it, right? If he had like a queen of hearts. Tobias might give up.
He looks as uncomfortable as he should be as well.
He's got. He's thinking if I.
Yeah, he has given up.
Wait till he sees Talal.
They're all. Oh my God.
So Tobias was saying to himself, "There's no way that Talal is sick enough to only have a 6 here with nothing else. Yeah. No way he could be that crazy."
And he was.
And he is. Both, you know, Talal and Jungleman are quite similar in that they played a style where they're likely to either get top 2 or bottom 2, and that's exactly what's happened to both of them. I mean, Jungleman had a bottom 2 and a top 2, and Talal is looking to have the same. Which is better?
I mean, that can't be the right strategy in this format, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, which can't be the right format?
You can't, like, to take Jungleman and Talal's strategy isn't the best, I imagine, in this format.
I don't think so.
The points are very top heavy. I mean, I don't know. I don't, you know, I've changed my mind like 1,000 times, and I've seen more of this Premier League than anybody.
By the way, it doesn't hurt to whatever strategy you adopt to kind of be flexible and super aware of what's happening per hand, you know, because in the end you want to be winning but surviving. I don't like this. It's just 3-handed. I mean, you're looking down at 2 really high, sweet-looking Broadway cards. Your opponent can have anything. Your opponent can fold an ace-6, and he's beating you, you know? He would probably fold an ace-6. This is just...
To Dan, I'm sure he would, yeah.
I think that's a maybe it's even a... It could be one of those bets where you have to then call a shove because... I don't know. Oh, well, this is about... as good a result as you can hope for if you play it slow. I mean, your opponent's caught up. He has a runner
straight
draw.
But he hasn't played to trap here. He's played to
catch value and continue and have a good hand. Yeah.
To protect his stack. He's called to protect his stack.
Yeah.
He's actually not. I think he might be like, shoot, now I have to call another bet.
No, I don't think it's like that. I think he knows. Hey, now he's hoping his opponent had. Now he's sick again. You know. It's how often do those aces turn when you have the top pair? It's incredible. I went through a month where it was like all the time, you know? Tobias is just like, you know what, I'm turning my real hand into a bluff, and Shak is going to say, well, I've under-repped my hand, I'm going to call. This is...
Yeah, he's trying to bluff the wrong guy here.
Yeah, he is trying to bluff the wrong guy. And this is, I mean, but Shak and Talal are two guys that you're not going to be blowing off hands.
And this is not a big enough pot for Tobias to be able to put the fear of...
I think it's going to go check-check. I think Tobias knows that Shak is a call. Shak is just going to call with a queen-jack and an ace-10 and whatever. And
if there is a good bluffing card, that is a good bluffing card.
It is, because, I mean, you could have had a flush draw. Not the 4 as much, but I mean, no, I think it's still
the flop got checked behind, so
yeah, I agree with Tobias.
Takes a few combinations out of there.
Yeah, it's just gonna go check. He knows that he's getting called. He can feel it, and also
he's got showdown value.
A weird little like, yeah, if my opponent had a 10-jack, but why would he call with a 10-jack?
Right, he's got
or a 5-6, so that kind of thing.
You can tell he's not happy about this spot. He knows he's not going to be good, and
yeah.
But he also knows that he's not going to get him to fold. So
he knows he's and in order to get a bluff through it, he has to expose too much of his stack, so he's never going to bother.
I guess it helped you rep a little bit. I was going to call the river.
Tough call, anyways.
Yeah, tough call, but I had the chips to go off, so I didn't say it was going to be an easy call.
Dan likes to make everyone believe that he would call him.
Yeah.
And he likes to call. It's not such a bad strategy. Get people to be afraid to bet you.
It's never easy. No.
It's definitely harder to have it than not.
Yep.
He really has the deepest voice, I think, out of anyone I've ever met. I mean, he could be, what do they call it, a mezzo basso or something?
Right. One of those.
Supro basso.
That's a little singing reference. Jesse knows a little bit about everything, but a lot about poker.
I think in Italian that just means like appetizer, actually.
You bluffed me, huh? And I just believed you when I folded, and I had the best hand.
You really did.
Oh.
155.
Yeah, I like this.
One re-raises to 155.
He just has to get through Tobias, and then he's way ahead of his opponent's range, and he knows really tall, doesn't want to go out. He's going to have to, and he probably would have folded to a reshove, like 150, yeah.
Nah.
You don't think so?
I mean, I don't know.
I think so.
No, he probably would have.
It's just so sick. He's like, wow, I walked into it.
But he never finds himself in that spot. He somehow he always just fades that spot.
Right.
Yeah, you know, we 3 bets and guys fold queens. I mean, you know, he never has to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
When you finally see a Shak hand, it's kings, and so you just like, you start losing your mind and you start playing. But I played
because
poorly.
the only hands that he actually shows down are the absolute
top 2. You know?
Yeah, the nuts.
And I had the 3rd best hand, and I just put him on top 2. Like, what am I doing? I'm such a fish.
A 6-handed sit and
I can have this
with an average stack of 35 big blinds.
And I'm folding.
You just put
I
them
might
up.
as well just fold kings too. I mean, I'm the best. I am the best. I want to get to the final table and say I made that play. You know.
It's King of Hearts, 9 of Hearts, 8 of Clubs. 7 checks. 1 checks. See 3 checks. And turn. And a 10 of spades.
Gin.
Gin for Tobias.
I mean, he might get 1 bet out of Dan as well.
Could Talal first act bluffing this? I don't think he can. It's just too. It just doesn't make any sense to do it.
He's an amazing man if he's looking at that board and thinking there's opportunity. I mean, he's got 2 6s for crying out loud.
I mean, that whole queen
I mean,
through
you
9
gotta
thing.
love this guy. What is he up to?
He's gonna get a call too from the king. I'm pretty sure. I mean, how can he not call if you're Jan Shak? It's just like, why does he have ace? Wouldn't he have raised with 8? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I gotta call. Maybe I can even raise and get.
Oh wow!
This is unfair.
I mean, the hand's over still, but
the reason why Dan's raising, he's like, well, I know that he doesn't know that, you know, Tobias has the nuts, but he's thinking, if I'm not winning, won't he fold a lot of his hands that are draws and beating me and whatever? Like, wouldn't he fold an ace deuce? If I got raised there, I would. Yeah, exactly. I would. It wouldn't even be a might. And he's like, well, so I get the best hand to fold some of the time. I can get the draws to pay. I might be, you know, Tobias is like, how do I milk these guys? What is going on?
It is fairly academic, but between call and raise, which do you guys like in a vacuum here?
He'll raise here, I'm sure.
Yeah, because somebody might have, Talal might have like 9-10 or a flush draw or queen 3 of hearts, or not queen 3 of hearts, queen. Well, he would have
Jack 3 of hearts.
Wouldn't he get it all in if he had some? Maybe Jack 3 of hearts could be a good.
I mean, he knows how tight Dan is as well, so he just assumes that Dan's like got a really strong range here.
Right. That's a good point, Toby. What?
Talal's like, okay. But, you know, that's not the first time that's happened to him, is it, in his poker career?
He's got a lot of heart, though. He'll keep trying that one.
Now, Dan is going to fold, I think. Dan is like, wow.
Probably bluffing me, but...
See one folds.
Nice bluff.
Yeah, nice.
Not a king. You might add a better king. Or you might have bluffed me.
Lots of possibilities.
What?
Lots of possibilities.
You just pull a really good bluff on me.
You're gonna see it anyways pretty soon. Or you're gonna know pretty soon at least.
Which means yes, you did.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, it probably does.
I gotta be balanced with that answer, otherwise.
No, it's okay.
I give away my hand.
No problem.
He knows you're listening, Phil. He knows that is your specialty, is balancing the range of people's lives.
No, for me, I just lie all the time. So, you know, I'm one hand that can never be what I have, the one I say I have. The rest are all up for grabs.
Easy. Get crazy.
7 folds.
One thing on the button.
Look at him mumbling. He's like, that was like a miniature little like Helmuthian post. You know, it's like super grumpy. It's like a standard poker thing.
Yeah, he wins at life though, doesn't he? So he doesn't like losing at anything.
Right.
A miniature Helmuthian little snowball.
See, one raises to 60,000.
And speaking of Helmuthian, I'm meaning to collar Scott Seaver today because, you know, he keeps bringing up this Helmuthian logic. And I just think that the world needs like 6 examples from Scott Seaver of Helmuthian logic.
Yep. I think
I need them. I don't care about the world.
Pretty easy to defend. I mean, the button folds and you're the big blind with king 10 3-handed. You've got to be looking at flops
3
here.
diamonds, 4 spades.
Here's we both missed, but the ace high is good. He might c-bet.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
One checks.
C-betting is what I would do and be sick about doing. I would do it and not feel good as I'm doing it. I think. Yeah, because if would I? Let's see.
Yeah, I think this is...
I think that's what I do. I do that a lot. I hate c-betting, but I do it. You know, it's like...
We were noticing before that Jason Mercier's c-bet frequency is somewhere around 100%.
Yeah, he was betting a lot of different boards.
C1 bet 70,000.
So let's see his bet size. I mean, he's betting this actually, thinking I have the best hand.
Yeah,
I don't want him to hit a 10 or
protecting his
jack
hand,
or whatever it is. And Tobias might pick up on this. This is the dangerous thing. If you do something that's straightforward, your opponent might suss it out of you. So this is why it's hard to play straightforward against. You know what I'm saying, Toby? It's like,
oh yes,
you can check almost. I've been in spots there with the a6 where I'm like, you know what? If I bet he knows he can just steal it, so why don't I just check call and I don't know.
Yeah, but
get him
there's
to hang himself a little bit when he.
Yeah, sure, but
there's the theory of poker.
Yeah,
the theory of poker is always overriding.
You give him the chance to, you know,
catch up for free.
Yeah, hit one of his
is wrong.
kings or tens.
But this is what's. You see, it's the I'm gonna steal it from you.
Yeah, you actually. It's Tobias. It's something completely different, isn't it?
I think his timing might be a little bit off here, though. That, I think, especially after the last time where Dan didn't want to fold by any means, he's not. I feel like he's not going to be folding here.
At this stage, if Tobias has Dan beat, he had to have been playing very deceptively at some point earlier in the hand, right? I mean,
I think, moreover, Tobias is just hoping that Dan just doesn't want to get involved with his ace high.
so this is just straight bully. This is just a straight,
Oh
kind
yeah,
of,
yeah.
you know.
This isn't particularly logical. He's just trying to bully him now in position.
It's not clever. It's just brute.
Oh, I don't think it's going to work though.
It's interesting. I mean, Dan, when he has these kind of decisions, he does play quite slow, but it puts your opponent in the stew pot in the cases when he is bluffing, right? And there is something, there's a weird psychological thing to that, right? But maybe not with Tobias.
I definitely thought he was going to be stubborn there.
2 hands in a row, probably the best hand pre-flop. Probably the best hand there. That's why he's the best.
He is a good judge, Tobias. A very, very good judge.
I wouldn't have gone for it there, but he got it. He got it through.
I don't mind if I just get outdrawn, Joyce.
I always love what the Irish used to say, or Parkinson's used to have this thing about when someone says Daddy's going to stop the car. Daddy never stops the car. You know, when Daddy stops the car, he doesn't warn you.
3 folds. C7 raises to 62,000. C1 calls. Flop. 7 of clubs, Queen of hearts, 10 of spades. C7 bet 74,000.
2 pair here in Shak's hands.
Shak should actually just flat, I think. This is just too big to scare your opponent away. Your opponent might, right, Toby? This is just such a monster.
Yeah, I mean, definitely 3-handed and against an opponent like Talal who likes to bet on a lot of streets.
The worst card in the deck from Shak's perspective.
It's funny, yeah, and I wonder if...
But it's also a card that Talal isn't going to bluff on, I don't think. It'll be check, and he'll have a chance to hit an ace on the river. Oh, wow.
That's kind of a... I don't know.
If you had a queen, it would have gotten all in on the flop anyway, so I played it. I raised, you were calling with a queen.
Queen 10-7?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So either way, if I raise the flop and he has a queen, he's getting there and got there. Yep. That was probably the worst turn.
I'm not having much luck with you, hands with you.
He told us why he did it. Because
the flop. I figure he made bets a turn.
He wanted to get it all in on the flop.
Because he wanted to get, that was dry, right? Is what you were saying?
No, that is what he said.
I put it in there because I wanted to get all on the flop. If you had a queen, it would have gone all in.
That may be our first example of Helmuthian logic.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God, that's funny.
6-7 folds.
I want to look down at like ace-6 or ace-4 again. I'm telling you that right now. Please.
One calls.
He's a glutton for punishment, I'll say.
Oh dear. Even Tobias got a little smile on his face.
Yeah, like he knows this is really not fair. And I'm just going to punish you here, Dad. This is going to get ugly.
Luckily, Shak has 6 high and can get away.
3 raises to 64,000.
But
It's a race, but
he's getting hot under the collar. It just never stops. Can he call? It's not that much. How much more is it? It's an additional.
See, he's had enough.
Another 40.
The problem
40,
is
40
Tobias
like
knows
100.
he's had enough.
It's. I might call. I mean, it's wrong if you see the hands, but it's. You're thinking, hey, I'm putting in 4 units to get 10, and wow, I do have kind of a hand. I mean, this is.
He's had enough. Oh no!
Would you call that, Toby? I kind of feel like you can call this. No, you just you fold
I
it.
wouldn't. I mean, I might raise just probably raise pre
and then fold to.
And fold to a 3 of it. And this is sort of the reason why, because he's going to get himself into.
Just he can't really do anything. He's handcuffed unless he hits it. 10s. This is about as good as you can hope for with 10s. I mean, this is just this is like having a 4-4 deuce flop in some ways. It's the same thing.
It's about as good as you can hope for with the 3-6 of hearts. I mean, he's now got 20% more of his straight flush. You know, he's still drawing.
But you can't really bluff out this. It's not coordinated. It's too brittle. It's like it's all over. And he's checking for pot control and maybe let my opponent hang himself if he has a 9-8 and hit a 9, let's say. You know.
Yeah.
C1 checks.
I think this is. I would bet this now because you can imagine hands in your opponent's range like Queen Jack and things like, not Queen Jack.
More like King Queen, you mean?
Yeah, King Queen and whatever. But like that might have been a re-raising pre-flop hand. But there's just like 7-8.
Just to protect his hand now,
protect
There's 140
like,
out there.
What if he has King 3 and then a King peels off? It's just like, this is, you get the best hand. Total value.
C3 bet 67,000.
He's charging a toll.
I mean, I did win 1 hand off of you before, right, with the Queen, King Queen. So make sure I did win 1. Okay.
We'll be right back for more Premier League action here at Asper's Casino in Westfield, Stratford City, as our remaining players duke it out for points here in London.
He's got the perfect shoving step.
Still 3 left, and they've been at it for a while. The object, of course, if you are Dan Shak and Tobias Reinkemeier, let's look at the back of Talal Shakerchi, give each other high fives and say, see you at the final table. Talal still the fly in the ointment, not just for the remaining players at this table, but for everyone else in Group B. And he's got all in now. I think he's getting called.
Oh, wow.
Boy. This is unusual.
Super unusual.
This could be the end for Talal.
But I can't now.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, but you have the 1 card that
How many times today?
Yeah, but don't get too upset yet.
Yeah, Talal still has 28% though.
Yeah.
6.
Less 28%.
Yeah, watch the number adjust. Only runner.
Well, that's it for Talal Shakerchi, who has actually had a great day at the office. Came into this heat with only 2 points. He's going to add 8 to that number. And for Shakerchi, 10 points, going to put him in 4th position right now, smack in the middle of the playoff zone. With what he showed in this heat, good things to come in the next 2 heats from Shakerchi.
And we've just lost Talal in this second heat for this group. Now, that leaves you with 10 points. We're halfway through, basically. So talk to us about your situation and how the points leave you.
Well, I think 10 points is okay. There's 2 matches left. If I get another 10 points in those 2 matches, I guess that would put me in the running to get through to the final round. So I just need to kind of get a 2nd place or something like that to move forward.
Was there a different flavor for this heat as opposed to the first time you guys came in and sat down together?
Yeah, it was a little bit. I think everyone's getting a little more understanding of how each other's playing. I I think, interestingly, Tobias was played much more cautiously than he did on the first round during the early part of this heat, which was odd because he had all the points, which you might think might make him more comfortable. But otherwise, I think it was fairly similar.
Well, you have 2 more to go, so get some rest and good luck.
Thank you.
It's good seeing you again.
Yes.
What does this do to the group? Is this?
No, it makes it good for the people who have no points.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Like
it guarantees you. Does it almost guarantee me too with 22?
Pretty good.
Almost. Okay.
It's quite interesting. Both these guys, of course, now getting the heads-up stages 2 times in a row, and I think both with different ways of approaching not just the game but this format. Shak, of course, the consummate steady player, and Reinkemeier certainly much more of a mover. What do these stats mean to you guys? That aggression factor that Shak has just kind of shows that he's plays a much narrower range of hands. And
that's exactly right. When he enters the pot, he really doesn't like to fold, and he has much stronger range.
2 players who are reuniting. A heads-up match on one side, Dan Shak, second in the first heat. And on the other side, Tobias Reinkemeier, first in the first heat. So deja vu, do it again. And they are playing for something, though. It's 10K straight in cash, plus chips on the final table. Aside from that, both these players are feeling like at least 99% of the time they will be at the final. It's almost like a celebratory lap here, this heads up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, we're just so in that spot to be at.
You know, the most significant hand that they played together in the last heat,
5-3-9.
Dan Shak had really let Tobias kind of push him around for a while, and then kind of woke up and called him for all his chips
with that ace 6. Yeah.
So he certainly has. He feels the kind of guy who has a line, and if you push him over that line.
But he had folded A7 earlier. It was kind of like the line.
You know what? You can only push me so far.
It was a hunch,
and then I'm in a corner.
It was a good hunch too.
Yeah, it was.
They both have a hand here.
Call.
I think this is pretty standard. This is once again where since the kicker to the 3 is a king, you kind of have to.
I think that's a pretty normal flop. Action. It just sort of gets interesting more on the turn.
Dan's going to give up.
See whether Dan wants to hold on or not here.
And it's really important to bet this because, you have top 2 pair and there are draws out there and their hands he'll just call.
I mean,
you could even concede.
It's definitely feasible for him to call the turn again with King 3, I think.
Yeah.
He always thinks he's being bluffed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, that's the thing. Talal and Dan, they're finance guys. They're Wall Street guys. They're rich. They think everyone's bluffing them. All the finance because it's true. All the finance guys are trying to bluff them, and they're experts at sussing through it. And they never BS. Have you noticed that Dan never does the BS, but he knows when he's getting BS'd.
I mean, if you can imagine Talal and Dan sort of side by side on the stock trading floor, you can imagine that Talal must be a really cool customer. Always speaks in a soft voice, even though. But you could see that Dan might just kind of sit there and then every once in a while just stand up and shout.
Right, that New York thing will come out. Yeah,
just blow up.
Yeah, I like Dan just playing that once. It's pretty standard and just fold. He didn't,
Yeah, he seems to get each situation pretty good.
But he doesn't like making the thin calls. And no one does.
It will not feel good to be owned twice. I'm just going to tell you that.
It'll be the first time it's ever happened
but
to
in
him.
this format, I guess it can't feel too bad.
I think what he's saying, and I agree with him, that this is the format where you have to lose the battles to win the war.
Right. If you start winning you have to lose pots to win the If you're never losing pots, you're going to lose at poker. You have to be willing to fold winners. Even though that wasn't a winner, it's still good to do. Shak just hates that this is a nice hand, heads up.
I'd like to see him throw a 3-bet in a couple of times.
Yeah, when he has durable hands like this. Like
yeah. This hand does well to just to raise, but
raise fold, right, buddy?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Stacks are decent. Heart 7-2.
Check.
Of course,
it's the nuts.
This is the heads up. You can just kind of fuzzily draw a gray cloud over the top card and then look at your hand. And that's what I kind of do. I drift away about 75% of the card. It's there hazily, but then I'm like, wow, I have top pair and a runner and flush draw, you know. And that's okay to think like that, because if you're waiting for top pair and heads up, you won't have any chips by the time you get one.
He's going to stop the rot here, though. He's going to win this hand. So
yes.
There we go.
Yep.
Raise.
I have a little bit of that.
100.
Weatherman.
200.
Shaq attack.
Oh, come on, Tobias. You know you can fold.
Yeah.
Give him a pot for crying
But he
out
wants
loud.
to do the. He wants Shaq to feel like emotionally it was a payoff. He went through. You know,
he wants him to work hard for this.
Yeah, and then he wants him to feel rewarded. Like, yeah, but look what you have to do to get through it, and then you can just play careful for a while again. You know, because that's what he's hoping.
Wow, I mean, that's it. And that's very psychological. I mean, it's almost a little performance.
Just the right amount. I think Tobias is excellent with this. He's not going to abuse the clock and the time. And you see, it's just that's a very fair amount of time where that hand could have been, you know, a pair of fours or ace.
The only time I've seen Tobias play before this, and I didn't actually see him play, but in Prague, last year or the year before, there was a massive cash game. They played 50. About 24 hours, and
this is a big raise coming in.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil.
No, it's quite all right. I'll just quickly, but they were 8-handed, and I went to bed. Tobias didn't have many chips. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I came back about 9 in the morning, and they were 3-handed, and Tobias was sitting behind every chip on the table.
Towers and towers.
Yeah, he's you know, he's one of those. He just accumulates.
Well, Tobias loves his hand, and I think since he's on the button, see, the thing is, against some players, Tobias would check knowing that they'll bet Irish position on the turn, but
65,000.
this is Shaq is going to respond more predictably. I think it's more logically to bet, therefore.
The way he's going to make the most money, aside from stealing pots, is by bet when he's got best hand against second best.
I think because, you know, Talal and Shaq kind of have exhibited that hang-on-ness thing that's more than, probably a little higher than, I don't know, probably a little higher than what it should be.
And Toby, this is a spot where normally players would check back, but Tobias might bet. Yeah,
I would expect him to bet here.
You know, the king queens and the.
I think you would probably expect Dan to check raise a flush draw on the flop, so there's not really that many flushes. And
okay. And now he may have picked up a flush draw.
He's gonna, yeah, and he's going to get him to call again with a king a lot of the time. So he'll go for bet flop, bet turn, check back river most of the time.
So he's thinking, I've got a 10 and a spade, and that's around 27% against an ace, or 2 pair or whatever.
All in.
Wow.
Wow, this is genius. So he has outs if he's wrong, and it's a fold, I think. I don't think Tobias can call. He has too many chips. He has 758. He only has 1 pair. He has to fold. It's so sick. Good job, Dan.
Your comment, Toby, that he would have expected to get check raise with the flush draw. The question is, how strong does Tobias believe that, right?
Well,
because it has to be a bluff. If it's not a flush, it has to be a bluff.
This is crazy.
He's thinking king 4. Does he have king 4? That's what would resonate in my mind.
He wouldn't check raise all in with king 4.
And he's got him to fold.
Oh, no, wouldn't he?
Props to Dan.
It's kind of a weird.
Yeah.
Go Dan. He's pulling all of his dormancy vig from earlier and just splatting it out for that 400, 300,000, whatever it was. You know.
Dan's got moves. Like
he's smart. I'm telling you. I love when Dan does that. Well, I'm just a trader. You know. I win all the money.
Even when Tobias has ace king there, he's still got 27%. So you know.
Yep.
18
right.
or no, better, I think 16 or something 2 years ago, that event.
They paid what?
I know, I came 16th in the main event like 2 years ago, and I really loved the structure.
Yeah, I
like
came in 11th in 2010.
Oh, did you?
Was that the same? Almost
No,
the
no,
same.
no.
You were 11, 2011?
Yeah, mine was 11, yeah, I think so.
I was 11.
He actually, I think he came 17th in the main event of the Aussie Millions in 2011.
Oh, the Aussie Millions, yeah.
And I think he may have.
He was talking about 2010. Something. Maybe he's misquoting his own results. I do it all the time.
Yeah, he does have quite a few if he tries to remember
He has
them. The
more
only
than
guy
me.
who remembers every result they've ever had is Phil Helmuth.
Accurate. Accurate. He probably told the people at home what they were too. You know, it's like.
I did a trivia thing with him, interview, where I thought he would never get it to name. He's had 13 bracelets. Tell me every bracelet he's won in what game and when. He just rattled them off like it was, you know, like it was his 6 cousins or something like that. You know, the names of his children.
And I like Dan's lead here. He's got a piece of it. He has runner flush draw as well. And if he checks, if he bets, he can get
100.
He's going to get some
He's
action
going to get
here, though.
a clear idea of where he's at. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if he checks and the guy bets, well, you kind of got to call. But here, if you bet and you get called, you know your hand is more vulnerable.
We'll say that he has raised to call. I mean, he's not raised to pass.
I assume he has now. Yeah.
220,000.
And he has a backdoor flush, but that's like only 4%. But I don't know. Dan is a sick one.
Call.
It's a funny little
I would
hand.
not call this, by the way.
Well, I mean,
would give up there.
What can come on the turn that Dan can call the rest of the chips with?
A queen or a 2.
Yeah.
But everything else is gross.
Wow, look how perfect that is.
That's just about
Shaq
good as
could,
card
in
as
theory,
he could
did
have
Shaq
seen.
say all
Oh,
that?
Dan
I like
did
this.
it.
I like this because he's
It's
like,
like
well,
the worst card in the deck. Not like, that is the worst card in the deck.
it might be the
Probably
best
what-
card for you, son, because like you can fold with 18% now, and that
Just the stupid
but
5.
you just can't continue. You have to save to fight another day, I think, right, Toby? You can't
this is why I just called 100,000 on the flop a lot of the time, because
Dan might check this.
he would have saved himself 120,000 here with the raise that he made.
And Dan might have checked it, actually.
But your average player is going to fold the queen 2 of hearts there
On the flop?
on the flop to a
Most likely. Yeah.
a bet. He bet out, raise. It's wow. Dan really got that through the needle. That 5 of hearts was a real savior card because it could have just come off ace 2, 4, 6, whatever. Pain.
All in?
All in.
I'll look at 1 and tell you how you look.
How's it looking?
Ooh, it's definitely the king.
Anxious.
How do you? Oh, you
I call.
I like
he
this call.
calls, yeah.
It's a very good. It's a value hand. It's a value call.
King 7?
Jack 7.
Okay.
King 4. Jack 7.
Here we go.
Wow.
And his jack's dead. Just the 7 though.
Yep. Tobias can only win with a king or 7.
Is there a
or a 9? Is that true? A 9 does something, huh?
Ace.
Wow. And that's it.
That's it. Got a winner.
Well, we not only have a winner, we have a tie at the top of Group B. These are the league standings. Dan Shak is now co-leader. Both he and Tobias have 27 points each at the end of Group B's second league match. Jennifer Tilley joins them in the top 3. Talal has now moved out of the elimination zone and climbs up into the playoff zone with 10 points along with Phil Laak. Those facing elimination are Jason Mercier, Igor Kurganov, and Tony G. But with 2 heats left to play, everyone still has a chance to make it into the top 3.
And we are halfway through now, and with 27 points, you're tied for first on the leaderboard with Tobias. You took this one down. You must be feeling so strong going into the third.
You know what? I actually feel really good. We got heads up, and I had a chip advantage. As again, I was shooting for second or third, and if I get the opportunity for first, I'm always going to go for it. And I felt like I sort of copied his game almost, and came back and won it. So I feel, and I got it in good almost every time. So I feel really good about it.
Next time, it's getting serious as Group A return for their third heat here in London. Antonio Esfandieri and Scott Seaver are looking for big points to help keep their Premier League dreams alive.
That's how I get my money in, gentlemen, with the nuts.
Daniel, you're like a dog. Wait for somebody to get down, try to bite their leg.
It's just actual cheating. Don't say a word. It's not even on you.
I didn't intend to. I just didn't see it.
It's never on you when you act.
You really think I'm trying to angle with this?
Yes.
Then you're an idiot.